This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Denver Nuggets made a strong statement last night in the NBA Finals. They told the Heat they will not have home court advantage in Miami. The Nuggets win Game 3 by 15 to take a 2-1 lead and frustrate a sellout crowd. A sparkling triple-double for Nikola Jokic, 32 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists. 34 for Jamal Murray. Game 4 is Friday night in Miami, 5:30 tip-off on ABC. Something is wrong with the Dodgers. They've lost 4 straight, and for the second night in a row, they lose to Cincinnati in the bottom of the ninth. Reds rookie right fielder Will Benson hit a 2-run homer to end it, his first career home run in the major leagues. Nice way to get number 1. The Dodgers are now in second place in the NL West, 2 games behind Arizona. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
I gotta testify, come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Gotta testify, come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Back when they thought pink polos would hurt the rock, before Cam got the pop, the doors is closed. I felt like bad boy street team, I couldn't work the locks. Now let's go, take them back to the plan. Me and my mama hopped in that U-Haul van. Any pessimists, I ain't talk to them. Plus I ain't had no phone in my apartment. Let's take them back to the club. At least about an hour I stand online. I just wanted to dance. I went to Jacob an hour after I got my advance. I just wanted to shine. Jay favorite line, dog, in due time. Now they look at me like, damn, dog, you what I am. A hip-hop legend. I think I died in an accident, cause this must be heaven. I gotta testify. Come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky.
I'm Tavis Smiley. That's Kanye West. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. June is Black Music Month. In case you just tuned in, we've been playing the best of Kanye West in our program all 3 hours today. Well, not the first hour. First hour we had Dr. West in, Cornell West. Was in the studio today live talking about his presidential campaign. So it was good to see my friend and brother, and we had a great 1 hour conversation. If you missed it, it will be posted shortly on all of our platforms. Check out the podcast. That's why we say all the time, listen in real time, or check out the podcast at your leisure. So the conversation with presidential candidate, I gotta get used to saying that, Cornell West, will be available here shortly on all of our platforms as a podcast. But in the second and third hours, we are playing some of the best of Kanye West as we celebrate June, Black Music Month. Once again, every day this month on this program, we are picking out an artist who we love and you love, and playing the best of their stuff. I said yesterday, quoting Du Bois, that Du Bois asked that question: would America have been America without her Negro people? The answer, of course, is no. But you take black folk off the soundtrack of America, you ain't left with nothing. The musical experiment in this country just falls flat if you take black folk out of the equation. And so we are pleased to celebrate June as Black Music Month every June. And we're doing as we always do, again, playing the best of a particular artist on any given day of the week. And today, that artist is Kanye West. In this hour, two conversations. On the B side of this hour, we'll be joined by our regular commentator, regular contributor, Connie Rice, to recap several trending political stories As we head into the weekend, we'll get her thoughts first and foremost on the Justice Department informing Donald Trump yesterday that he is, in fact, the target in this classified documents probe. And for many legal experts, that portends an indictment in the not-too-distant future. Mike Pence had a town hall last night on CNN. So much more to talk about in the world of politics. We'll do that with Connie after news, traffic, and sports at the bottom of this hour. We commenced this hour in conversation with our friend Shaletta Brundage, who is an Emmy Award-winning comedian, talk show host, best-selling author, USA Today Woman of the Year, extraordinary woman in her own right. She wrote a piece recently that got my attention. It's called, her point in the piece is honoring the boss ladies in our midst. Honoring the boss ladies in our midst. It's a piece that she wrote that I want to talk about with her, and we'll do that right now that Shaletta is on the line. Shaletta, how are you today?
I am so good to be talking to you. It is always so good to hear your voice. You and your team bring me so much joy. It's good to be around family. I can let my English slip and my verbs split up if I need to, and won't nobody judge me. It's good to be around. I can take my shoes off. I can undo my girdle, and we gonna have us a good time. I take the snaps off, like my grandmother say, my brassiere, and just rear back because we were family. And I can be myself. We
are family. As a matter of fact, you heard me mention that we're playing a different artist every day. On Monday of this week, we played our artist all 3 hours was Slide and the Family Stone. And, of course, we played that track. Thank you for letting me be myself again. So you can always be yourself around here. So first of all, let me start. The audience who've been listening for the last couple of years, by the way, we're celebrating, Shaletta, our second anniversary on Juneteenth. So in just a few days, we'll be 2 years old, and things are moving in the right direction. All the indicators are pointing in the positive direction. So we're very thrilled and delighted, but mostly just grateful to God and to this audience for the success we've had in these 2 years of KBLA Talk 1580. I raised that because as we move toward that anniversary, we are building audience, of course, every day. And for those who listen to this program, they know you because they've heard you on this program a few times, and so that they are excited as I am that you're back today. So I want to start by asking, how are you? How is your family? How are your children? How is the business? Or give us an update on how things are going since we last talked.
Man, let me tell you something. If God was any better to me, I would be in heaven. I tell you, everything is going so great. I've got, like you, this production company, ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com, got tired of fighting for a seat at the table, so I built a network of podcasts, right, that are all hosted by black subject experts. We're based in Minnesota. And, we have tapped into something, I think you and I have, Tavis, where our people are looking for authentic voices to give them their messaging. People are not watching TV anymore. They're not reading the newspaper. They're going to people they trust, like a Tavis Smiley and a Shaletta Brundage, to figure out where to travel, right? Where to go eat out, where to go on vacation, which doctors and hospitals to make sure that they take care of their families. And so these companies are lining up to do business with us. Target and General Mills, they threw that George Floyd guilt money at us, right? I took it. I ain't gonna lie. I took that George Floyd guilt money. I sure did.
Yeah.
But what happened was they saw the results that they got and how their customer base got diversified and all the new foot traffic and the butts in the seats and the people through the doors. And so now we're going on. We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
And thank you. In February, see, we know how to do stuff. You said Juneteenth. I started my company on February 1st.
There you go.
And I've been thinking I'd have done it on Juneteenth, but I was thinking about Black History Month.
That ain't bad.
Yeah,
that ain't bad.
and so now 3 years later, I was talking to my accountant because I had to get an accountant back and bring trucks up full of money to my house because they ain't doing it because I'm cute. They doing it because I got impact and influence, and that's what people are putting their equity on our influence to get them the results that they want. And the accountant said, "Look, you got to run payroll. You got to take these contractors to employee status because you working them too hard, and we're gonna take you to S corp." Tavis, I got a kid. I'm in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen, Tavis, with the computer in the kitchen with a towel hooked on my shoulder. I still got a cordless phone. The kids is on the sofa, and Teletubbies is on the TV. Tavis, I'm going to go and tell you because we family. This little old small business that I started in the kitchen of my house, where I'm still in the kitchen because I'm grimy like that, this quarter alone, we made $250,000 first quarter of the year.
Won't he do it?
First quarter.
Won't he do it?
And I would have had to work 1,100 years at that job I had, but I stepped out on faith. God told me to go, and that's the thing. We have to remember, if God gives us the vision, He'll make the provision.
That's right.
We are so afraid. We are so afraid to fail that we miss success. And I told God, I want everything you got for me. I don't want to get to heaven, and He shows me something that I didn't get. People say, well, you move too fast. You're doing too much. I'm moving fast because I got to catch up, because for years I believed the lie that I wasn't worthy. I believed the lie that I couldn't do it. I believed the lie that it wasn't for me. Right? And now I know the truth. I know it is for me. I know I am worthy. I know I am capable. So I'm going to get my stuff.
This is why I love Shaletta Brundage. Every time she comes on, it puts a smile on my face, and when I get done talking to her, I could just levitate out this studio. I don't need no help. I can just levitate, just fly right on out of here, because every time she comes on, she is a shot of adrenaline, a shot of positivity, and I love it. I love talking to her. When we come forward, speaking of talking to her, I want her to unpack this piece that she wrote called Honoring the Boss Ladies in Our Midst. We'll unpack that with Shaletta when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
21 Grammys, superstar family. We the new Jackson, so I'm about that action. I'm about the fair kind. Life is a marathon. I'ma shit the paradigm. I'ma turn up every time. I'ma bust the coach's head open on some Diddy. If he ever talk to my son like an idiot. One time for a nigga really getting it. Two times.
We've got a lot to talk about. Good thing we've got 3 hours. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Hey LA, keep your utility bills low this summer while making your home the cool place to be. LADWP can help you save hundreds with air conditioner and thermostat rebates, plus free energy efficient home upgrades and simple tips to help you beat the heat and save money. Visit ladwp.com/cool-LA.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that has between 26 and 49 employees and you paid COVID sick leave in 2021 or 22, you may qualify for reimbursement through a state grant program administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. Learn more at covidpaidsick.com.
King C. Gillette is the modern man's answer to their facial hair. With a complete set of precision tools, the King C. Gillette line offers the perfect fit for your facial hairstyle. Want to try something great? Try the Style Master, the quintessential styling tool that every man needs to craft their style. It's a waterproof, cordless trimmer with a long-lasting 4-directional blade. It's extremely versatile and designed to edge, trim, and stubble in 4 directions on any hair length. Master your style with King C. Gillette.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
This is #1 champion sound. Yeah, Estelle, we about to get down. Who the hottest in the world right now? Just touched down in London town. Bet they give me a pound. Tell them put the money in my hand right now. Set up a motor, we need more seats. We just sold out all the floor seats.
Take me on a trip, I'd like to go someday. Take me to New York, I'd love to see LA. I really want to come pick you with you. You'll be my American boy.
Kanye is pretty high on my prayer list these days. Praying for that brother. But you cannot fade his artistic genius. That you cannot fade. And today is Kanye's birthday. We celebrated Prince yesterday. Prince, where he's still with us, will be 65 years old. And today we celebrate the artistic genius of Kanye West, celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Kanye. Our guest right now is Shaletta Brundage, and I'm pleased to have her back on this program. Shaletta wrote a piece that got my attention. I wanted to get her to spend some time with us unpacking. A piece where she's saying it's time for us to honor the boss ladies in our midst. Shaletta Brundage, take it away.
Well, I watched the movie Air. It's the first movie from Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's company, Artist Equity. Mm-hmm. It was Mother's Day, and my kids had not gotten me what I thought they should have gotten me. Okay, I got 4 kids. I'm like, I don't want these homemade cards. I want y'all to go to the store and buy me something. So I'm going to go upstairs, and I'm going to watch this movie that I have not had a chance to watch. And when I finish, it better be some gifts up in here. Mm-hmm. So I laid here in peace and watched Air movie. About how the Nike deal got done and how Michael Jordan, became a billionaire from the sale of these shoes. And I did not know that his mother, Dolores Jordan, single-handedly shook down the CEO of Nike in the kitchen of her house on a phone hooked to the wall with a towel on her shoulder. And let me just tell you something. When a black woman slapped that towel on her shoulder, whoever she is talking to is in trouble.
Yeah.
And these people at Nike, Sonny Vaccaro and Phil Knight, and they were trying to tell her, look, this is the best deal you're going to get. We usually give $250,000 to 3 or 4 players. And she said, no, we want a percentage of every shoe. You eat, we eat. She knew her son's worth. She knew her family's worth. And Tavis, without the power of social media, without a business degree, without Google or the internet, this woman used her business savvy and her mother's wit to single-handedly change the shoe industry. Every athlete after Michael Jordan not only got a fee, but a percentage of the sale of their shoe. That didn't happen until Dolores Jordan demanded it. And I looked this woman up because I was just so intrigued and so fascinated as a woman in business about how she carried herself and how she sat across from the CEO of Converse and Adidas and Nike and didn't flinch or budge and didn't cow down or demur. I mean, it was just amazing to see Viola Davis play this character. So I wanted to look up the real Dolores Jordan. So I looked up Mrs. Jordan, and I see all these awards she's won for philanthropy and humanitarianism. Not one business award. Not one. This woman should be teaching at Harvard Business School. She should have gotten a business award immediately and every year thereafter from somebody, but she didn't. And it takes me back, Tavis, to Katherine Johnson. This woman, this brilliant woman, single-handedly saved the Apollo 13 space mission, and nobody said anything in real time. We had to wait 47 years until the movie Hidden Figures came out. And then at this point, Mrs. Johnson is in her 90s, and she doesn't even realize everything that's happening. They're wheeling her over to the president, and she's getting medals and honors, and NASA now wants to parade her around and put statues and plaques up. Where was the appreciation for the brilliancy of these black women in real time? Why do we have to wait for Ben Affleck and Matt Damon to put a movie out before we realize the significance of what Dolores Jordan did for influencers and athletes when it comes to endorsement deals? Why don't we, Tavis, appreciate black women and our contributions in real time?
Let me take that question that is not at all rhetorical and put it back on you. Why do you think we do not?
Because we don't demand it. We don't demand it. Tavis, I clap for myself. You know what? When I do something amazing, I buy billboards. Sure do. If I do something good, you gonna know I did it because I'm gonna tell you about it. When I got USA Today's Woman of the Year, I had billboards all over the city of Minneapolis. Congratulations, Shaletta. You've been named USA Today's Woman of the Year. I paid for that. I clap for myself, and I'm encouraging black women to clap for ourselves. You know, for so long, Tavis, as black women, we've been taught, don't show out, don't brag, do your job, keep your head low, keep your job. Don't. Everybody don't need to know what you're doing. Yes, they do. Because, see, when I know what I'm worth, you need to know what I'm worth, too. So you don't come at me and try to underpay me or undervalue me. You won't even come this way because you might not be able to afford the ticket on this dress. So you need to know that I know how fabulous I am, and it's my job to let you know how fabulous I am. And you know what? If you want to be famous in a room with me, you gotta go to another room because I'm sucking all the fame out this room. This is my room. All the money that is this room, that's my money. And so we as black women have got to stop believing that we gotta wait for somebody to shine a light on us. We need to walk in the room with our own light. We need to be our own biggest cheerleader and our own biggest advocate. And you know what? If we don't promote ourselves, nobody else will.
Yeah. It is hard. First of all, the more I listen to you, I'm reminded of a colleague here at our station who I am very proud of. One of the best decisions I made a few good ones around here when it comes to our talent. So let me not get myself in trouble singling out a particular talent. But we have a young lady on our station named Michelle Duffy, and the more I listen to you, the more you remind me of Michelle, or Michelle reminds me of you. It's just fascinating to sit and hear both of y'all talk, you today and Michelle on her program on the weekends. But it's just the energy is palpable. The energy is you catch it. You catch it when you talk to you or Michelle because you're just so positive about everything, and I never see you guys without either of you two sisters without a smile on your face, which is beautiful. And your haircut is similar as well. So you remind me of Michelle in a variety of ways. That said, it's impossible, I think, Shaletta, to disconnect the respect that black women still don't get, which they richly deserve, from the combination of patriarchy and racism that black women are always subjected to. I mean, black men, trust me, I've been a black male my whole life, obviously, and so I understand the journey that we have to walk, the journey that I've had to walk to gain and garner some modicum of respect in the lane that I run in. But for black women, it's that combination. You mentioned Katherine Johnson. It's that combination of patriarchy and racism that has kept black women from getting what they deserve. I guess the question is whether or not you think that in the future that conundrum for black women changes at all.
You know, we're going to have to be it. We're going to have to be the change. We're going to have to support one another. When you see a sister clapping for herself, stand behind her and clap.
Yeah.
You know, I want to change it, Tavis. And I'm just going to tell you something. Since we family, I ain't even supposed to be saying this right now because I ain't got no clearance. I want to bring Dolores Jordan to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and honor her with the first ever Dolores Jordan Disruptor Award. I sent her a letter and asked her if she would please allow me to fly her here and treat her like a queen and have an award ceremony, not with a bunch of people, but just her. I just want to honor her. I want to spend one night letting her see the fruits of her labor so that black female thought leaders and executives and business owners can shower her with praise. And I even went to the folks who created the Oscars, and I'm like, I want you to create me a trophy, an exact replica of the Air Jordan 1s. And I want to put her name on it. This is a trophy. And I want to do it on October the 26th, the day she signed the deal. We have to honor the boss ladies. I'm not going to wait for Hollywood to do it. I'm not going to wait for the president to do it. We have the power as black women to do it. And when society sees us celebrating ourselves, they don't have any choice except to jump on board. Because you were talking about all this time about black music, and there's no music in America without black music. There's no America without black women. And we have to train them how to treat us. I keep telling my sisters who are in this same business that I'm in, if you take zero, they'll try to pay me zero. If we all expect the best, they have to come up to our level of expectation. So we are no longer going to accept the least of the things you have available. We want your best because we're going to give you our best, and that's only fair.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I love about you, there are many things, but one of the things I love about you, and I try to live my life in the same way, I find joy. I really do find joy, not happiness. That's fleeting. I find joy in loving and serving other people. It brings me sublime joy to love and to serve other people. I see this radio station. Our mission is about loving and serving other people. The books I've written, the speeches I've given, my foundation, all that I've done has fundamentally been about loving and serving people. That's why I say all the time, Dr. West was here in the studio 2 hours ago. We have said for many, many years, you can't lead folk if you don't love folk, and you can't save folk if you don't serve folk. So the leadership is fundamentally not about what kind of car you drive, how much money you have, what kind of degrees you have. None of that stuff matters. It's ultimately about what is the depth of your love for everyday people and what is the quality of your service to them. So that leading is about loving and serving people. And I'm so excited and through. As a matter of fact, I got to dig out my phone and call Mrs. Jordan and encourage her to accept your invitation. I wouldn't say she and I are the best of friends, but we spent some good time together over the years. I'm going to call her and encourage her to accept your invitation to come to Minneapolis and be feted in the way that I know you'll do it. I know you'll do it right.
And you got to come too. If she says yes, you got to come too. I'm telling you, I talked to them Oscar people today, the people that make the trophy for the Oscars, and I was like, look, for what y'all charging me, I'm coming to put the check in your hand. I want to meet your mama, okay? I want to get to know your kids. We're going to be family because, you know, I need her to know that this will be done in a spirit of excellence and love. And that's the thing, Tavis. There was a time in our community where, you know, you amassed Cadillacs. You know, you amassed property. You tried to have the biggest house and the finest jewelry and, you know, the biggest medallion and pinky ring. But I think those days are gone. And I think, Tavis, you set the example for how to do that. You and Dr. West, what are you doing for your brother? What are you doing for your neighbor? What are you doing for people outside of your circle and your sphere of influence? How are you being a blessing to people in your community? If you die, is everybody in your house rich, or did you enrich the lives of others? I want to leave that kind of legacy. I don't care. I'm riding around in the same car I had in 2013. And what do I do with the excess? You know, we provide Thanksgiving baskets. You know, we make sure that young girls who can't afford maxi pads have them. We make sure women who are stealing Pampers out of the store for their kids have access to Pampers and diapers. You know, those are the things that I want to do for my community, not show them that I can drive a fancy car with the hubcap spinning. Them days is gone. Days is gone.
No, back to Dr. West. We were just talking about this a couple hours ago, that anybody can be great, said Dr. King, because anybody can serve. You want to be great, just serve. All it takes is a heart full of grace, said Dr. King, and a soul generated by love. And I love Shaletta Brundage, and I love that she is loving and serving others, including stepping out here to honor Mrs. Dolores Jordan. And for those who've not seen that film, and she didn't shortchange it. It's a powerful, powerful film. Ben and Matt, they did their thing, man. It's a powerful piece of work. And if you've not seen it, you might want to check it out over the weekend. But you see how it inspired Shaletta to move in the way that she's moving, to remind each of us that now is the time to honor the boss ladies in our midst. Shaletta Brundage, I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Amen. I love you the same, and your entire team, all of the people that you have on your staff who have been so good to me and are so kind and think about giving a voice to people like me. You know what an honor it is for me to come on a show after Dr. Cornel West, presidential candidate of the United States of America. This is what you do, not just the best of these, but the least of these, and thank you.
Nope, you are more than welcome. We'll talk soon. Take care of yourself.
All right, God bless you.
We'll talk to Connie Rice after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Supreme Court is striking down Republican-drawn congressional districts in Alabama that critics say discriminated against black voters. The nation's highest court voted 5-4 against Alabama. It means the 7 congressional districts will now be redrawn. The decision makes it harder to shut down concerns raised by civil rights advocates. Protesters are blasting Iowa officials over the handling of the building collapse. Demonstrators gathered last night in Davenport as the city council held its committee of the whole meeting. Speakers called for accountability and transparency. Some of those who spoke were related to the 3 men killed in the collapse: Brandon Colvin Sr., Ryan Hitchcock, and Daniel Prian. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Seeing lots of slowdown on that 105 westbound drive in Linwood, coming away from the 710 out to Crenshaw Boulevard. Busy too in Pasadena, clearing back 210 West at Hill. That drive is jammed from Baldwin Avenue. In Cerritos, they're back on the 91 West at Carmenita, clearing off to the right, and slowing on the 605 South from Ramona Boulevard to the 60 with an on-ramp closure.
Kickstart your imagination with Audible. Hear celebrity and music memoirs, mysteries, true crime, and more. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Denver Nuggets made a strong statement last night in the NBA Finals. They told the Heat they will not have home court advantage in Miami. The Nuggets win Game 3 by 15 to take a 2-1 lead and frustrate a sellout crowd. A sparkling triple-double for Nikola Jokic, 32 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists. 34 for Jamal Murray. Game 4 is Friday night in Miami, 5:30 tip-off on ABC. Something is wrong with the Dodgers. They've lost 4 straight, and for the second night in a row, they lose to Cincinnati in the bottom of the ninth. Reds rookie right fielder Will Benson hit a 2-run homer to end it, his first career home run in the major leagues. Nice way to get number 1. The Dodgers are now in second place in the NL West, 2 games behind Arizona. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Everybody in the house, make some noise!
Is there a better day of the year to celebrate the anniversary of the only unapologetically progressive talk station west of the Mississippi, focused on issues that impact the black community?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We think not. A station that amplifies black voices like yours with hosts and guests who look and sound like you. Celebrating our second anniversary on Juneteenth. We're KBLA Talk 1580. And you ain't seen nothing yet. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know that all City of LA renters have rights? Check out these 3 facts. Residential tenants can't be evicted without reason or just cause. Eviction protection still exists for unpaid COVID-19 rental debt due before March 31st, 2023. And you have 5 days to respond to an eviction notice. 5 days. Many Angelinos may be at risk of losing their home, and that's why we want you to know your rights. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here for KBLA Talk 1580. We're live in Los Angeles at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. And I'm speaking to some of the attendees today to see why it was so important for them to be here.
Yeah, this is Lathan and Tyler. Main reason that's very important for me to be here is just to leave a legacy for my kids. Black wealth, generational wealth is what we need in our community, you know. Oh, Chase, someone has to take the lead. They're showing, big business like Chase cares, and they're putting their money where their mouth is at. So it's good to see, big institution like Chase, giving a lifting hand, to the community, and you got to respect that. It makes me want to bank with Chase, and give them another look. If I go to another institution, I actually see what Chase is doing for the community.
That's right. Chase is doing their part to help advance Black wealth. For more money support, tune in every day from 12 to 2 to KBLA Talk 1580's Midday Money Chain, right here.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
Yo, G, they can't stop me from rapping, can they? Can they, hot? I spit it through the wire, man. There's too much stuff on my heart right now, man. I gladly risk it all right now. It's a life or death situation, man. Y'all don't really understand how I feel right now, man. It's your boy Kanye Chitter. Shot-town, what's going on? Yeah, I drink a boost for breakfast, an insure for dessert.
I'm Tavis Smiley, and that's Kanye West, who is celebrating a birthday today. June is Black Music Month, in case you just tuned in. And every day we are playing the music of a particular iconic artist. Today, Kanye has been our artist in residence for all 3 hours of this program. Yesterday, we celebrated what would have been Prince's 65th birthday. Tuesday, we did the music of Dizzy Gillespie, and Monday, we started with Sly and the Family Stone. So I look forward to, throughout the entire month of June, every day, bringing you some of the best of Black music artistry. Speaking of the best of Black people, I am honored now to welcome back to this program our regular contributor, Connie Rice, on the Justice Department, informing former President Donald Trump yesterday that he is the target of the classified documents probe, which suggests to many legal experts that a federal indictment is on the way. Connie and I have been talking about this for months now, it seems, and we'll get her take on that in just a second. We'll also see what Connie Rice, the towering public intellectual, has to say about Mike Pence's town hall on CNN last evening, and so much more in this ever-evolving race for the White House. Connie Rice, we had Cornel West in studio live a couple hours ago. He came in for the first hour, and what an hour it was. If you missed it, the podcast, I'm told, is posted right now. We got it up as quickly as we could, so if you missed that conversation, the podcast is up now. We may even reprise that conversation tomorrow for those who may have missed it. But the podcast, again, of that conversation is up now. He announced, Connie, and he was in studio, as I said, and at the top of the hour, the first hour, as you know, I mentioned, I give the rundown of what we're doing today. And I said, in our third hour, our regular contributor, Connie Rice, is here. And he beamed a big smile and rolled his eyes and shook his head. And, I mean, he was just so thrilled just to hear your name mentioned that you'd be on in this hour. So let me just ask right quick. I told the brother I'm pulling and praying for him, but what do you make of Cornel West as a presidential candidate?
Doc is running and Trump is running for the hill. Doc is running. Isn't that great? Listen, I think if nothing else, what Cornel West says is going to be like he's on a mission. He's on a mission,
that's right.
To get some points out there and to underscore what has not been done and how the grotesque inequities have gotten bigger. And so I'm all for that. Just as I am all for Chris Christie going on his annihilation Terminator mission to annihilate Trump. So I'm looking at the two of them. I say, go, go, go. There's nobody like Doc, I tell you.
Yeah, there's nobody like him, man. We had a rich. You know how he is. So we had a rich first hour.
I've got it. I'm listening to it tonight.
Yeah, no, it was a rich dialogue. Let me ask you, since you went there, let me ask you right quick. What do you make of? There are a number of ways to read it, and I don't need to color it for you. What do you make of this burgeoning field of GOP candidates? If nothing else, it proves they ain't scared of Donald Trump, at least.
Well, they're just now, at least three of them have now come out and said something directly challenging to Trump. Christie, the most pointed, and I mean, he just goes right for it. He's like a prosecutor coming after a criminal, which is what Trump is. You had Pence finally saying somebody who violates the Constitution shouldn't be president, and that shouldn't get a standing ovation. But in the context of of this former party, because it's not a political party. It's a as Jason Johnson says, it's a storefront, it's a storefront operation for a crime family and for a far right MAGA insurrection. So in the context of that, where there is no Republican Party anymore, and you've got traditional politicians actually saying, you know what, the Constitution's important, you know what, democracy shouldn't be destroyed, you know what, we shouldn't be following a wannabe dictator who's doing nothing but doing the biggest grift in the United States political history and fleecing his voters and got everybody wrapped around his con man finger. And so any politician that does that right now, I put Liz Cheney up there first. She's the one who she sacrificed her career to stand for the rule of law and for the Constitution and against an ongoing coup d'etat, which is just a slow rolling insurrection. It is not over. They are still doing it. It includes everything from suppressing our votes, eliminating our votes, making sure young people can't vote. It goes from getting rid of, and now they're going to get rid of elections altogether. And if they can't get rid of the elections, they'll, or stop the results, or stop the counts, or when they lose, they'll simply bring an AR-57 and blow up the Capitol. So they're willing to go to political violence. And so in that context, when you have a couple of Republicans standing up and saying, you know what, we're still with the democracy, you gotta kind of nod your head. I'm not clapping. But I'm happy to hear it. Finally, 7 years later, finally.
Yeah. Let me ask you. I mean, you mentioned Chris Christie and Mike Pence. Let me talk about both of them right quick. I'm not a huge fan of Chris Christie for all the obvious reasons. This audience will get that, obviously. But I'm with you in this regard. He's on a mission to make sure that they pick anybody but Trump, even if he doesn't win, and he has so said publicly. So I ain't mad at him for that. Mike Pence is harder to know what I make of him. He's the former governor of my home state of Indiana, and whenever I run into him, whenever we're in the company of other people, he hastens to let people know, puts his arm around me and says, Tavis Smiley is the pride of Indiana. He's the recipient of the Sagamore of the Wabash, the highest honor in the state of Indiana, and he makes nice with me when we see each other, and then I have to go, on the air and give him the business. So he's a decent enough guy when you know him in person. But what I'm really getting at is I don't know which Mike Pence is going to run this race, no matter how he does, because he's been on both sides of this. He has been a protector of Donald Trump, and to your point, now he sounds a little bit different. But on any given day, I don't know which Mike Pence shows up, Connie.
Well, flip a coin. It could be Mother May I Pence.
Yeah, exactly.
Mother May I Mike, or it can be the man who stood in the breach at the most critical moment on January 6th. So he's both. People are complicated, and I'm willing to understand. In the context of that moment, can you believe the democracy relied on Pence and Dan Quayle? And conservative judge and legal scholar, Ludig. That in that moment, it relied on the conservative Republicans, not the MAGA nuts, but the conservative Republicans who still have principles, who still believe in the rule of law, who believed that insurrection, which was trying to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power to Joe Biden, in that moment, Pence stood up with courage. So for that moment, I'm not going to deny him that. On the whole, though, it's a pretty pathetic performance when, you're sort of like the butler for a wannabe tyrant who's in there and took the democratic instruments that we gave him when the Electoral College selected him as president, and he tries to destroy the democracy so that he can take autocratic control. He's a wannabe dictator, and we need anybody who says that, we need to back them when they say it.
I love Connie Rice, as you well know, because nobody turns a phrase quite like Connie Rice. When we come forward, we'll spend the rest of our time between now and the top of the hour and the close of today's program talking about the news that Donald Trump got yesterday from the Department of Justice, that he is, in fact, the target in this classified documents probe. What does it mean? Does it, in fact, mean that an indictment is on the way from the federal government? More with Connie Rice when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Any given Sunday, win a Super Bowl and drive off in a Hyundai. She was supposed to buy your shorty Tyco with your money. She went to the doctor, got lipo with your money. She walk around looking like Michael with your money. Shoulda got that insured Geico for your money. If you ain't no punk. Holla, we want prenup. We want prenup. Yeah, it's something that you need to have. Cause when she leave, yo, she gon' leave with half. 18 years, and on her 18th birthday, found out it wasn't his. Now I ain't saying she a ghost.
Be sure to like and follow Tavis Smiley at The Real Tavis Smiley and get Twitter updates at Tavis Smiley. The conversation continues when we come forward. We've got a lot to talk about.
Race, culture wars, political turf battles, criminal justice, and injustice. The courts. These are the conversations you won't hear elsewhere. My guests are leading journalists, celebrities, and sports figures, elected leaders, and influencers. They aren't afraid to get into it and say the quiet part out loud. With Ariva Martin in real time, your commute just became the most engaging part of your day. Tune in weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. or find us on YouTube. Ariva Martin in real time, when you want it straight, no chaser.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Tina Turner's hometown to build a statue in her honor. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. On May 24, news spread of the death of the queen of rock and roll, Tina Turner, who died at 83 years old. Turner's representatives say she died of natural causes after long illness. The mayor of Tina's hometown has since revealed plans to build a statue in honor of Turner. Bill Rawls Jr., mayor of Brownsville, reveals his hope to have the sculpture placed in Heritage Park near the high school Tina attended as a teenager. She was born in the same town in 1939. Rest in peace to the queen of rock and roll, Tina Turner. I'm Maisha Cairo for KBLA Talk 1580, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
Have you faced discrimination in Los Angeles? The City of LA Civil Rights Department can help. They investigate private sector discrimination in LA City in commerce, education, employment, and housing. If you're facing discrimination, submit a complaint online for free at laisforeveryone.com. That's laisforeveryone.com or call 213-978-1845.
The Los Angeles Public Library proudly presents the June Jubilee inaugural event commemorating Juneteenth. Join us on June 10th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Central Library as we celebrate the rich Black culture in our city. This free event will include a special opening celebration featuring African drums procession and a libation ceremony at 9 a.m. along with speakers, workshops, live entertainment, and more for the whole family. Parking is only $1 with a validation. Learn more at lapl.org/Jubilee. That is lapl.org/JUBILEE.
Conversations that matter. You're listening to Tavis Smiley on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Connie Rice on KBLA Talk 1580. So, Connie, in the minutes that we have left here, let's just spend our time talking about the news that Donald Trump got yesterday and all the rest of us heard that he received, that he is the target in this probe. None of us are surprised by that. But again, I keep reading a number of legal experts who take that to mean that a federal indictment is forthcoming. I pass the mic to you.
Tavis, Coco the gorilla knew that Trump was the target. I mean, if he didn't know he was the target, he's in further trouble than I thought. So everybody knew he was the target. The question was, when was the indictment coming? And Jack Smith, who is is just a master prosecutor. You don't do international genocide cases unless you are at the top of the game. Mm-hmm. He has had to pull this case very, very quickly together, even though it was kind of done, but it wasn't set up for proving beyond a reasonable doubt the kind of case that you would have to have put together at a level, come after a former president. And so I think, looking at all of my friends who are top prosecutors, because I'm not a prosecutor, but they've got like 200 years of prosecutorial experience in the federal system, and I just kind of, not a single one of them does not believe that an indictment won't be coming in the next month. So he is going to be indicted if we can rely on the expertise of the best prosecutors in the federal system. And the thing about this is that, I'm thinking, is this man going to have to do the GOP debates, the presidential debates, in leg irons? It's we've never been in this place before, where you have a candidate running for president who is already under criminal indictment for the Alvin Bragg case of the hush money falsifying business documents case. So he's already indicted, twice impeached, indicted, found liable for sexual assault. This man is racking up, a sort of RICO list of indictments. So when you look at it and you realize he's not running this time just as a con to get his name out there, which is what I think the first run for president for Trump was. He's running this time to stay out of jail. And so we know that when he gets desperate and starts thrashing around, we need to start looking about because we're in new territory. We saw the reaction when his Mar-a-Lago resort got an FBI search done. You had somebody die in Cincinnati trying to avenge the insult done to him because he had a court-determined legal warrant executed at Mar-a-Lago. And the ultra MAGA right blew up. So I think we've got to think about the political side of this, not just the legal side of it.
Let me ask, when we come forward in our remaining moments, how you think this positions him as he continues to run. I can cite the evidence, you know as well as I do, that his poll numbers went up after the Alvin Bragg indictment. His numbers went up. His fundraising went up. What do you expect is going to happen in the next month or so when he's indicted by the federal government? What happens then in terms of his support, in terms of his fundraising? Do you think others who are running for the presidency will then call on him to get out of the race? Mike Pence, Chris Christie, others. A great deal more to talk about in the few minutes I have left here with Connie Rice when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C. What's up? 3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with autosave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Are you looking to steer your career in a new direction? Driving for Culver City Bus can be your ticket to a long-lasting career with excellent benefits and paid training. Culver City Bus is looking for customer service and safety-minded bus operators to join the growing team. Culver City Bus offers on-the-job training starting at $19.10 per hour, uniform allowance, and health benefits. Culver City Bus is a great employer. Let Culver City Bus connect you with an essential service job. If you enjoy driving, seek real opportunities for career advancement, and passionate about making a difference in the community, you are invited to join the Culver City Bus team. Start your journey today by submitting an application at culvercity.org/jobs. For more info, visit culvercitybus.com or call live customer service operators at 310-253-6500.
Interrogating your assumptions and expanding your inventory of ideas. Let's get back to Tavis Smiley on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's see if in the last 4 minutes I have left here, Connie and I can sort of game this out, or Connie can. I ain't as bright as Connie, so I can't game nothing out. But Connie, when this indictment that we expect is coming does in fact come, how do you think it impacts his poll numbers, Donald Trump? How does it impact his fundraising? And do you expect that anybody running in this race against him will then start to make calls for his getting out of the race? Take it away.
With the MAGA base, it will increase all of his popularity. He will raise millions off of it. Within suburban white votership, I think it's going to damage him, and with independents, it will damage him. Unlike the Alvin Bragg indictment for the hush money falsified business records case, most independents don't find that prosecution credible. But when you look at the polling about stealing top secret documents that could actually get people trying to help America stay safe, they could actually get them killed, you could endanger spies, you don't take top secret documents and brandish them around. Independents. So I think that, Tavis, it's going to depend on whether Jack Smith does a talking indictment, whether when the indictment comes out, it lays out the story of why it is so absolutely critical, not just to make some point about the rule of law and no man is above the law. That's very important. That's important stuff, especially to lawyers like me. What's most important is to be able to tell the American people the story of how this former president endangered the safety of this country, and why even last week, for example, a lieutenant colonel was sentenced to 9 years in prison for stealing 2 documents. Donald Trump stole over 130, and several of them top secret. You can't have that. It endangers our relationships with our allies. This case has to be prosecuted. This is the one, and the January 6th one have to be prosecuted. So talking indictment, let's see whether he does conspiracy, but I think he's not only going to get indicted, even in southern Florida, he's probably going to get convicted.
Got 90 seconds left. Let me just ask you this. I want to be transparent about it. It seems to me that if we really, I understand the process and it takes time, but if we really, just between me and you, Connie, nobody's listening, if we really wanted him not to be president, then you move this thing with a pace and a speed where the trial happens before the election. Because if the trial happens after the election, one is going to get put off because you can't have a sitting president if Donald Trump were to win in a courtroom. So if we really don't want him to be president, Jack Smith then ought to move this thing with a real fast pace and get the guy not just indicted but convicted before Election Day.
And I think that's why he's moving as quickly as he is. Normally, this case wouldn't have moved this quickly. So I think he's moving on this classified documents case because he knows he can get it completed before the election. But if it's in southern Florida, those judges aren't as fluent. If he gets a Trump judge who decides wants to put the brakes on this, there are a lot of factors that can prevent this trial from getting completed before the president, even before the election. So you're right, Tavis. This is critical to get this done early. I think Jack Smith, the prosecutor, is trying to make that happen, but there are a lot of things that can keep it from happening, and what you say will occur. It'll be in the middle of a presidential election, and Donald Trump will find a way to put the brakes on it.
All deliberate speed, right?
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not, exactly.
Let's go turbo speed.
Yeah, exactly. Connie, I love you. Thank you for coming on. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
All right, take care. That's our show for today. We tried to squeeze that 80-pound show into a 45-pound bag, Miles. We got it done. We survived, Miles Lowe. That's our show for today. Back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Best of Tavis Smiley. The best of Tavis Smiley. All 3 hours tomorrow. Time to make room now for the KBLA Midday Money Chain. Up next, the Millionaires Roundtable with Lynn Richardson, followed by Ahead of the Crypto Curve with Najee Roberts. Old money, new money. Either way, we got you covered. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network.